All right, y'all. So I'm not gonna lie, I've been out of the country for a long time, and I haven't really taken a look at this website's tier list. I hear that they actually revamped this stuff. Also, they did add Vesti, and Emma to it. I know there was a bit of an issue when they added Emma because apparently they ranked Emma before even came out, which there's no way you could have a ranking of the character. I mean, I guess maybe if you do like calculations and just common sense of how the other character works, sure. But they had a ranking of a character that like the other character to have her full entire kit wasn't even out. So today we're here on Pride Win. Hopefully the audio quality sounds good because I did get a new microphone. I know it's the exact same one, but my other microphone was broken. That's why it sounded how it sounded. This is a brand new one, and I got a new keyboard as well. So yeah. Let's just go ahead and take a look, right? So I think realistically, out of like low deficit, high deficit, bossing, and PvP, the most important one is bossing. At the end of the day, all the end game content is it revolves around bosses, right? You have Anomaly Interception, Union Raid, and Solar Raid. These all revolve around bosses, right? So I think bossing is the most important one. I think high deficit is also quite important. I don't think PvP is that important, so it's not really that great. And then I don't think story, low deficit story, like I think you could beat low deficit story with any character, especially if you have any of these like major supports, right? I think you can realistically do that, and we'll see maybe. But let's take a look. All right, so let's take a look and see. What do I want to go first? Let's go to bosses, right? So they also rank some favorite items as well. Okay, obviously Rappy. I do obviously think Rappy's still the best character in the game. I do 100% believe that. I would have Rappy at 1, Crown at 2, then Thing at 3. Basically, if we go based off these rankings, though, Rappy would be 1, Little Mermaid would be 2, then Crown would be 3. But I feel like with Little Mermaid, if you don't have her setup, which is like her, Crown, and Helm, then I don't want to say she's not as good because she doesn't need those two, but it's just kind of like, it just gels so well having those characters. Let's look at the DPS. Oh my god, my nose, it's like I'm sick. The DPS. Mihara, I really do think Mihara is a great character. One thing I will say is like when Mihara first came out, we all were saying Mihara this, Mihara that. But if you built Mihara, if you give Mihara that overload gear, she's nice. She's nice. I gave her overload gear. My Mihara is very close to my Rappy in damage, like very close. And my Mihara is not even close to finish when it comes to gearing her up and like having her built. But she could hit very, very hard against bosses she's type advantage against. Like that's a fact. So if you have Mihara and you still haven't built her, she is very, very good as a fire DPS. Like don't get that wrong. I do think obviously these would be like the best burst 2s in the game. Crown at 1, I think Master Anchor at 2, and then you have Grave at 3. So let's take a look at the new characters. We have Emma at SSSD. Now they had this as her ranking before they even had Yunwa here, but Yunwa's also at SSSB. And where's Vesti? Okay, they have her at SSSS triple S and then B for bossing. That's good. I think she's horrible against bosses. I think she is really good against mobs. That's one thing you're going to learn and one thing you're going to understand very, very easily. She's very, very powerful against mobs. And even PvP, her being triple S is a very good ranking just because her AoE does hit very hard, right? Yeah, sure, I get there is a setup behind her with like, I mean, I wouldn't say you need to use her with Emma and Yunwa. But like it is better to use her with them, but like yeah, in PvP she nukes, right? And when it comes to mobs, yeah, this character nukes. This character is very, very, very good for mobs, but when it comes to bosses in general, this character is she's bad, real bad. So that's like more of the cool unique thing about this Vesti. Very good against mobs, not good against bosses, which is something we don't usually see. We either see a character that's really good against bosses and then like not really good against mobs, or they're just like very good against bosses and decent with mobs. But this is like the first time I've really seen someone who's like pretty good with mobs and then just horrible with bosses, right? Well, I guess there was other characters as well. I don't remember who else. I guess I don't know, you would be bosses and then like, you see what I mean? Like most characters are like that though. I want to see who the oldest character that is still up here in rankings happens to be Alice, right? Obviously, Saw Your Soul Alice, but Alice still is like technically Helm, but favorite item Helm isn't like an old character. Helm herself is, but favorite item Helm isn't. Alice is the oldest character here. Alice and Litter. Litter's ranking went down, right? And it only makes sense that they put her rankings down after Little Mermaid came out. I feel like even when Rappy came out, they should have put her rankings down a bit. I don't know if they did, but I do feel like, yeah, these are like the burst ones of the game, right? Little Mermaid, Rappy, I don't use her as a burst one. I use her as a burst one sometimes, just not all the time. I mainly use her as a burst 3. But I would say like the main burst ones of this game is Little Mermaid's easily number 1. Then you have Rouge and Litter as like your 2. And then Tove as well with that Dorothy comp now, right? Rouge is always gonna be like pretty decent burst 1 and like on the team just because of Cinderella and she has cooldown reduction. Litter is always gonna be like one of the best bursts. Before Little Mermaid, I had her at 1. So Little Mermaid, I have her at 2 because I'm not gonna include Rappy's burst 1 form. And then after that, I probably have Rouge at 3. Sorry, I just woke up. Deacon West, they did put her down for bossing. I think. I don't remember if she was always S here. I don't know if, I feel like Mast and Anchor, I want to go back to them. I feel like these are characters that we are probably, as time goes by, we will see them go up. That's what I believe. I think we will see them go up, right? Not necessarily go down, but we will see them go up in rankings, right? Because these two are getting more usage, and the combination, like the Mast and Anchor, is so good. And it just goes to show that this year Elysion really did, like, they got their stuff, right? Because all year, realistically, Elysion has been getting nothing but wins. Rappy, favorite item, Helm, freaking Mast and Anchor. They got the new trio with Emma, Yunwa, and Vesti, which honestly, I think individually, like, if you want me to be honest about this trio, I would never use this trio unless I'm fighting a fire, unless I'm fighting a boss that is weak to fire, right? Like where fire's type advantage. That's the only possible way I would ever use Emma, Yunwa, and Vesti. That's just me personally though, right? I just don't think these characters are worth using outside of that. I do think Emma and Yunwa are a very good comp. I just don't think they're like that good where it's like, okay, I'm putting them on the team. Like, I would probably use Mari over using Yunwa and Emma together. And I would definitely use Grave over using both of them together. I would definitely use Mast and Anchor over using. I would 100% use Crown over these characters. You know what I mean? I probably would even use Blanc and Rouge or Blanc and Noir over Yunwa and Emma, right? I just feel like if I'm using Yunwa and Emma, it's just because I'm fighting a boss that's, you know, weak to fire, or because I'm trying to run the full trio, which then I would have it at like thing. Right, in PvP, these are your PvP characters, right? Scarlet's still at the very top. Vesti now is going to be at the top. Helm is very powerful in PvP. Amelia is still just very good in PvP. Like this PvP is where those like shitter characters in the game kind of shine. Like Jackal is she's good nowhere, as you see. She's C, C, E, and double S or triple S. Same thing with Biscuit. Same thing with Noah. Same thing with Amelia, kinda. Like, these are the characters that are like, not Moran, it's the same thing. Noise, it's the same thing. Rapunzel, so somewhere. Look at E, E, F, and then double S. But you have to have her invested, kinda. I don't think Rosanna should be double S unless they should put that like invested mark in front of her, I feel like. Right, Rumani, right? So those garbage characters, right? Nero, Anne, Bay. Well, Bay's not a garbage character. I'm not gonna, never mind, so I'll say that. Sorry. But like what I'm saying is like a lot of these characters that like you just don't think have value probably are going to be very meta in PvP, right? A lot of the better characters in the game are trash in PvP. Look at Asuka, right? Trash in PvP. Who's the worst character here? That's like Rappy. Rappy Red Burst 1 is a horrible character in PvE. Because what is she gonna do as a Burst 1 in PvE? You know what I'm saying? And that's just, it's like Lamilla, very powerful character, very horrible in PvE. Modernia, Asuka, Eve, Eleg, like these are Raven, right? Like, I don't know. I feel like they balanced it out well. Bad characters are kind of good in PvP, and then the good characters are good in everything else. I don't think that's how they're like, that's their like mindset when they make this game or anything like that. But yeah, realistically, when it comes to bosses, these are the important characters. I think you should be building up all your DPSs from literally Cinderella all the way down to Scarlet. No, because my thing is like you could build up, like I think all these characters are worth building up. Maybe not Isabel, not too much. Not too much. Now with Arcana, sure, but like characters I would invest into: Cinderella, Mihara, Rappy. Red Hood was Red Hood always that low in bossing? Wait, can I see their changelog? Was Red Hood always that low? Look, they even put Anise down. Anise is losing value as time goes by. Where is she now? Wow. And she's no longer a triple S character at all. She's no longer a triple S character at all. She used to be triple S in PvP. Uno, Emma, Tove, Eleg, Dorothy. Added Lily to the tier list. Yes, we forgot about her. Sure, added Sora. And then they just added characters to the tier list. But like, oh, here, Red Hood. She used to be a triple S character, her burst 3. For what? Bosses, right? Yeah, I knew it. So now, I mean, I'm not gonna ever like sit here and like, you know, but y'all gang, some of these characters that you guys like want to be meta forever just cannot be meta forever, right? I guess now we're seeing a lot of these characters go down. I think by guaranteed 2027, Red Hood is not gonna be in that triple S tier I think she's gonna probably be like in that S and A range. Because we're going to 2026, right? 2027, by whatever the 5th anniversary character is, Red Hood is not going to be up there. But at the same time, I feel like Red Hood, they might, if we get to 5 years, I feel like Nikke might pull something and give Red Hood a favorite item, right? And that wouldn't be out of the question because then by then she would be out in the game for 4 years. So it's not like, oh my God, but Red Hood is Red Hood. No, if she was in the game for that long and I'm sorry, I doubt Red Hood is going to be the #1 used character, especially if they're now doing Pilgrim Limiteds and we're doing 2 to 3 freaking Pilgrims at anniversary celebration and all these godlike collabs and all these insane limited characters and all these other characters. There's no way Rappy or Red Hood is going to be #1 forever, right? So there is that. But what character out of all these characters do I think needs the buff? I think honestly, I would have said Isabel, but I feel like if Isabel gets a buff, she would just be way too broken now because she would get a crazy buff. They would revamp her kit to make her Pilgrim level. Not to mention her Arcana buff is crazy. Arcana makes Isabel hit very hard, if you guys did not know. So imagine a favorite item Isabel with Arcana. That would just be hacks. I'm not even joking. Arcana actually does make Isabel hit very, very hard, right? Not like anything godlike, like, you know, these characters up here, but like a lot better than what she was doing before. Like Arcana makes Isabel hit like a Pilgrim, essentially. That's what that does, right? So, hey, for the people who are getting ready for her favorite item one day, it should be coming. There's no way Isabel is not getting a favorite item soon. Well, I doubt it now because they gave her Arcana, so I don't know. But I really think, oh, my Dorothy, S, A, and D tier, bro. Yo, this character, when she first came out, we consider her, they wanted to make her a Z tier character. All right, everybody was saying she was a Z tier character, and now as time goes by, she's getting like worse and worse in rankings, right? And this is the one thing that I think a lot of people need to realize. When it comes to this game, burst 1s and burst 2s are more easy. They're just more easy to like go down in rankings because you only need one of them. I'm not being funny. You only need one burst 1 on your team. You only need one burst 2 on your team. When it comes to burst 3s, you can have 2 to 3. So you have a lot more options, and it's going to be a lot harder for other characters to die here. Burst 1, look how quick Little Mermaid went down in rankings when Litter went down in rankings when Little Mermaid came out. Litter went down in rankings immediately when Little Mermaid came out. And that's just the reality of the situation. That's just how it's gonna be, right? If they drop another character who's better than Litter but worse than Little Mermaid, or even better than Little Mermaid is probably still gonna be double S just because of the Monsters Trio comp. But then Litter is probably gonna like either stay at double S or they might put it on to S. I don't know, but if you want me to be honest, I think this tier list is a tier list that can help you guys in terms of like what characters to build. I don't think Pride Win is wrong. I think sometimes their placements are like a bit like, I don't know, not like horrible or not like just blatantly incorrect or anything like that, but like who's an example here on this tier list? Like, I don't even know who I would use as an example. I don't even know who I would use in this example here. I don't know. But hey, I think if you want, Pride One has a good tier list, a decent tier list. They can help you out. Just build the characters that you really see in triple S and the double S. Those are the characters that are most important, right? Of course, every character is important in different ways. Like, for example, if we go back to this thing real quick, right? Asuka is triple S in low deficit. I would never build up this Asuka for a triple S character in low deficit. Any character here is really good in low, like, come on, bro. Low deficit is too easy. That's way too easy, right? Way too easy. But she is very powerful. Don't get me wrong. Asuka's I just built her, actually. She is very powerful. But still, like, these collab characters, this Asuka's really good for Kraken. That's it. This is a water character. That's it. That's a water bossing character, realistically. That's it. This is an iron bossing character. That's it. Remember, the characters you're building, they're not just good anywhere, right? Follow these things where it says low deficit, high deficit, bossing, and PvP, right? And make sure you're building them because of that. If you want, I think Pride One let you give you like a blueprint at the same time. Like, that's what I feel like. I feel like Pride One gives you a blueprint to let you like build the characters and use them for what. So, and the game literally plays for you. So, hey, but you guys let me know what you think. If you guys agree, do you guys agree with Pride One? Do you guys think Pride One has some iffy rankings? Let me know. I don't know. But it's your boy Zxous. I'm out. Peace.